up for you tonight. So, don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Robert DeLesso, and I am the host of Rob's Inner Circle, broadcasting worldwide. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to what is going to be another exciting show right here tonight on Rob's Inner Circle. What would this show be without my two good friends, being Jenny DuHaime, the producer of Rob's Inner Circle, and our techie on our show, Patty Ladies Starlight Saragosa. Well, it's birthday candles for the two following people here on our show this evening. And I see that we're experiencing some technical difficulties over here. So let's hope we're going to get by here. Okay. So that's, oh, there you go. Okay, it came on. Yes, it's birthday candles this evening for our good friend, for our film producer extraordinaire. Happy birthday to Teresa Picciano. Congratulations to Terry. At the same time, I do want to mention all of your amazing success stories. Every day we're hearing about all the awards you're getting, the nominations, and what have you. Teresa, we wish you the very best. I'll tell you one thing. If you wanted to head for Hollywood, you're on the right track. And also, I do want to mention, it's also another birthday celebration today for Mr. Mike McCavan. Happy birthday, Mike, and continued success to you. Teresa Picciano and Mike McCavan both were previous guests on Rob's Inner Circle, and you can catch them on our Bobby's Short Shorts YouTube channel. That's right. You go on to the Rob's Inner Circle playlist, click on there. You can find all of our previous broadcasts. And Mike McCavan, Teresa Picciano. There's also Rosina Bucci, with whom she is partnered. She's partnered up with the twins over here of Elite Casting. You can see her as well. So go into the Bobby Shorts YouTube channel. You want to like our productions, comment, subscribe to the Bobby Shorts YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because anytime there's a new production coming out, you will be the first to know. Don't miss Pilot Bob, our favorite captain. He's on TikTok every Sunday. Great guy. I get along with the guy very well. And he has a show, a live show, his meet and greet on TikTok. It's every Sunday at 8 p.m. Go on and you can go on a live chat with him live. You can follow him. He'll follow you back. He's a really great guy. He's a sport. Movember is once again around the corner, and our producer has her stash almost ready. That's right. We're teaming up with the Montreal Alouettes. Bobby's Shorts channel is teaming up with the Montreal Alouettes to help raise awareness and funds for Movember. Be sure to like and follow our page and to find out more information about Mo Playoff Adventure. Well, folks, it's that time once again. It's time to sit back in your chair, let out the steam, take a deep breath, take a nice sip of that wine, because, you know, here in Rob's Inner Circle, the tradition is we always have that glass of wine. Kick up your feet on the edge of the table, take a deep breath, let out the bad air, relax, and let us carry the load. By the way, welcome people from California, San Jose, Texas, Fort Worth, all over the world. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in. A big shout out to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time once again. It's showtime. That's right. It's time to bring tonight's guest onto our show. And look at that. They're backstage. They're excited. They can't contain themselves. Oh my God. You know what? And you have every reason not to be able to contain yourself, because we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it's double trouble night. Welcome the twins from Elite Casting, Vera Miller and Nadia Rona.
Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Oh, my God. You know, this is one huge honor for myself and actually for everybody who's tuned in tonight on Rob's Inner Circle, and just letting everybody know I am so proud to announce that as of this very minute here, I know there's going to be other people tuning in. You girls, by your viewership, have broken our all-time record, and we just opened up the show. So congratulations to Vera Miller and to Nadia
Oh,
Rona.
that's amazing.
There's a birthday girl, Teresa. Hello, Teresa. Thank you for joining. And I also saw Esther who tuned in as well. Thank you as well, my friend. And thank you to everybody. Yes, the phenomenal women, Nadia and Vera. Absolutely. We have a lot to talk about. So let's get started. You're both originally from Slovakia, and you moved here at a very young age.
Right.
Okay, so tell us, there's this rumor going around saying that you were on the ship coming to Canada, and when you actually reach a destination, you did not want to get off that ship. Can you tell us why?
Well, it was so much fun on the ship because it was our first experience being on a ship. It wasn't such a fancy ship, but the people were so nice, and we really enjoyed going up and down the stairs, going to the dining room, everything, there was entertainment, and we really, really had so much fun on the ship. We loved it, every minute of it. We didn't want it to end, and so when it did end, we were sorry that we had to get off the ship and enter Montreal.
This almost sounds like the Love Boat.
Almost, not quite.
So even though you came at a young age, you had to adapt to North American life because you were used to your Eastern European lifestyle, even though you were young. And how is it that you managed to adapt to your new culture here in North America?
Well, because we were very young, and we were always open to adventure. We were adventurous even as little kids, we were always looking for adventure. So when we got off the ship, we went to a little apartment on Clark Street just for a short time. It wasn't we were not that, it was not that impressive there at that time, although right now that area is very desirable. But our father, who was a very smart businessman, and he arranged for us to go into a lovely duplex he rented on Lacombe Street, and that was really, really nice. We loved it there, and we were there for quite some time until he actually bought a duplex on Hampton Street, and we were there for quite a while in that duplex, and we actually went to what was then called the West Hill High School. That's where we went to high school at the time. Then we met some friends finally, and it was wonderful that we were able to mix in with the other kids in that neighborhood. And we went to high school there, and then we adapted, and we were accepted, and we were having such a good time at West Hill High School. At the time, there was a very good friend that was in high school with us, who is still friends with us, Phyllis Kirk, and we enjoyed being in that neighborhood and making new friends.
Well, as immigrants, when you first came here, you had a little bit of a hard time because you were saying that eventually you got to blend in with the crowd, but it wasn't always like that. In your beginnings, you had a very difficult time. It's not because you didn't have, what was it? It's not because you couldn't blend in. It's because you were not welcome here.
Okay, but the problem was that our mother especially, kept us dressed like we had long pigtails, and we were dressed like not like the other girls, and so we were afraid that they did make fun of us a bit when we went to high school. Yeah. And so we were not happy about that, but somehow with our determination and then finally going to our parents and adapting to the um, Montreal in North American kind of life, we really blend in, and we were quite happy afterwards. Yeah.
I'm seeing so many names over here. I'm just a little overwhelmed over here. Management GLC saying hello from Toronto. We got Mark St. Marie who's tuned in. Haven't seen you in a while, Mark. Thanks for coming back. I also saw Rosina Bucci who has tuned in. Rosina Bucci, your partner in the Elite Casting family. Yeah, there you go. Hello, Rosina. Hello, Rosina. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you.
Hi, Rosina. Hi, Rosina.
You're tuned in to Rob's Inner Circle, and we're broadcasting worldwide. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just letting you know that your questions are welcome for either Vera or Nora. You can ask either one. Chances are you're getting the same answer. Nadia.
Nadia. Don't
Nadia
call
and
me
Vera.
Nora. I'm Nadia.
What did I call you Nora for?
I don't know. I don't know. You must have a Nora in your life.
Vera and Nadia. There you go.
Right.
Hey, girls, you know what? I have it written right in front of me. It's not written big enough over here, I guess.
So now we have Vera's granddaughters on, Alyssa and Stephanie. That's so nice. Those are my sweet granddaughters. Two beautiful girls. and they say, love my grandpa Vera and my auntie Nadia.
There you go. So
wonderful girls. I have some wonderful two grandchildren and my wonderful kids, my Debbie and my Rick.
I think I figured out how it is that you both over here instantly gained a lot of friends. You two are so adorable and so lovable.
They're so cute, huh?
Unfortunately, okay. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Welcome, Christian. Thank you for tuning in. So, girls, back then it was a little rough when you were coming here. The immigration process was, a little rough, and the people didn't welcome you much. But today, thank God, people are a lot more welcoming. So, things have changed. So, that's what makes things a little bit more fun for the immigration coming this way nowadays. But you know what? I have here a traditional glass with some wine in it. And I believe you girls have a glass as well, a glass each. So, everybody, why not have a toast for both?
Okay.
Vera and Nadia. Blessings to you. God bless you both. Success. And everything you want. Hey, you know what I love about social media is we don't have the same rules as, public television. Try drinking wine on a TV show on television.
No, not acceptable, right?
Okay, so there's something about identical twins. Scientific evidence has shown that twins are not only genetically connected, but they're also spiritually connected. Can you give us an example of that? Because you were telling me, I think it was Nadia or Vera, one of you was in Rome buying a pair of shoes, and the other one was here at about the same time. They didn't have the same pair of shoes, man. Man, were those shoes almost the same? So can you tell us?
That is so totally
You're
true. Right. And, it's not a made-up story. It actually happened. And incidents like those happen so many times. We're connected mentally that whenever we were even far apart, we were connected. And it was so amazing. This one incident, especially when Vera was in Europe, Italy, I think, in a store buying shoes, and I was at the same time in Montreal, and we bought almost identical shoes. Amazing.
Can you believe that? That could have happened, but that's what the situation is with identical twins. It's not like any other kind of twins or any kind of siblings. Being identical twins makes us very special.
And we cannot even imagine ever being in different cities. If we would not be separated, we were in Europe, then we were in a boarding school in Switzerland together, then we were in Paris, and when we came to Montreal, we went to the same school. We even had the same similar jobs. We Everything we did was always so similar. And then when we got interested in acting, we went to the actor studio, and there where we met Rosina, we became the best of friends. We're almost like sisters, and have such a bond together.
Okay, so
We were connected at the actor studio with another casting director that we are friends with, and who is now still doing it, Andrea Kenyon.
good old Andrea.
I think you know Andrea.
I do very
Yes,
well. I've auditioned there.
I hope she's watching. And there was this her father, Rick Perry, that we attended at that actor studio at the time.
And he actually encouraged us. Rosina was doing some directing there, and then we went together for cocktails and dinner, and we got together at coffee, and then we decided, okay, why are we here? And we started our own company, Elite Productions, at the time, and then we changed it to Elite Casting later on.
Okay, so that at one point led to something else, because you were training some actors, and next thing you know, was that at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel that you started having some dinner theater productions, presentations?
Yes, it was at the time a Hyatt Regency Hotel. The three of us went to the hotel. There was a room there called the Regimes, which was like a nightclub, was not doing anything. We went to the hotel manager and we said, look, your room is not doing anything. Let us put on some shows for you, and you will do the dinner,
and we will do the shows.
Elegant dinner, and then we will do the shows. And that's how we started the dinner theater project in Montreal, which was so successful. And we were doing it for a couple of years until new management came in and they didn't want any more dinner theater.
But the time we had there was wonderful.
Okay, and you were telling me when we had our pre-interview last week that your father was very unsupportive of the whole idea of you going into performing.
Exactly. He did not like the idea of us being in the entertainment business. He thought we should join and go and work at his
glue factory, when we were not at all interested. He was very successful. He opened up a glue factory for manufacturing and paints and glues. And he became very, very successful. And he said, oh, you should come. No, never mind the entertainment, never mind that. You should come and work. And we said, absolutely not.
And we never did. We pursued our own dreams.
And so what is it that attracted you originally to go into performing arts?
We were always, even as little girls in Europe, loved performing. We were used to have a little house in a garden, and friends came by, and we always put on shows. We were singing, we were dancing, we were always interested in performing. That was our love, and
at that time.
And then eventually it developed further on once we were in Canada. But at one point we said, we would rather be behind the scenes. We don't want to act. It's too difficult. We were watching actors and what they have to go through in auditions, which is such a difficult process. I said, we don't want to do that. We want to be behind the camera. And that's when we decided that we want to go into casting and not performing.
And that was a really good decision, because we loved doing it for so many years, and we still like it. We like being into casting.
Sure.
So we have our one of our participants in the audience tonight, Esther Brzezinski, who says that she took classes at Elite Productions and says it was a great experience. And I'm sure she benefited very much from that, because today she's an absolutely talented voice actor and actress.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. At one point we did have like an actors studio where we hired some professional teachers, and we were involved in doing actor studio uh, classes and training actors.
Okay, I see David Steinberg over here. I'm just kind of curious. Would it be by any chance David Steinberg, who had his show on CTV back in the day? Could it be
Not the same David
It's not the
Steinberg.
same David Steinberg? Okay, because I remember.
It's our very
No,
good. It's our very good friend and his wife, David and Ruth Steinbergs, who have been our longtime friends for many years. So I guess they're watching.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hey, folks, just reminding you here, Vera and Nadia, right? Nadia, I got it right.
Right.
Vera and Nadia would love to take your questions. Go ahead. You can ask them just about anything you want. And look at this. We have Edna Katz Silver, who says that at age 92, she is still in the business and she loves it.
we remember her. Edna Katz Silva.
Oh, how nice.
And I do want to mention that Edna Katz Silver is a skilled sculptor. I don't know, Edna, if you still sell your sculptures, but if you do, and you want to get plugged, this is the place. Tell us how we can get those sculptures that you sculpt. And so I do want to go back a little bit to the twins, because I have a couple of questions that they didn't get to. As twins, are you part of an association that has something to do with twins?
Not presently. We didn't find anything. A few
But-
years ago, a number of years ago, we actually went to this place near Toronto called Twinsville. And there we spent the whole weekend, and all we saw all weekend was twins and triplets. It was an amazing experience. We met some wonderful people there, some of which we are still connected with.
That was many twins and triplets. It was amazing to see all that in that weekend. We enjoyed it very much.
And Vera's son Rick is just saying that we should tell about our experience when we were hidden in a village to escape.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you, Richard, for bringing that up. It was part of my questions over here, but since you brought it up, Richard, for sure. So Vera, Nadia, you were telling us in the pre-interview that we had last week that you actually started your acting career a little early, in the sense that from being Jewish, you became Protestant all of a sudden. So tell us
Exactly.
what that came about.
Our father had wonderful friends and he got us papers as Protestants, and he arranged for us to go in a little village called Hradište outside of Bratislava, where we were born, and we were hidden there for almost 2 years. And but
Our parents were also hidden there. They were in a basement, but we were there in the village, being in kerchiefs, going to church, and being
pretending, even though we were young, we understood that we could not say that we are Jewish. We had to pretend that we are Christian, and we did that. And we were in this family, with this family on the farm, and I can never forget one night when they said, "You have to go out of here. You have to go," and we had to go walk into the forest, and we were escaping because the communists and the Russians were coming, and we were escaping. And I will never forget that we were running, and then we came across some German soldiers, and we got so scared But but they totally ignored us. They figured we are village little girls, and we didn't.
never thinking who we really were. So we had some really troubling and incredible experiences, and we have to be very lucky that we were hidden there in that village. We escaped and we made it, and
And there were some wonderful people that were protecting us. We will never forget them.
So you were living in constant fear every day, and when you were sleeping, I could imagine you were sleeping with one eye open.
Yeah, and
yeah.
sometimes we were, the soldiers were coming, and they told us you have to hide, and we had to go under the bed. We went under the bed, and we were hiding there.
So it was quite an experience what we went through, but luckily we made it, and here we are years later.
That's an unbelievable story. And while you were hiding in that home as being Protestants, and you were going to church, and you were blending into the whole mold, at some point, did your foundation as your Jewish faith, was it shaken a little? That at one point, pretending to be Protestant, that you actually began to sway towards Christianity? Did that happen in some way?
No, not really. In our hearts, we always knew that we were Jewish. And I just also want to tell you that there were so many people that risked their lives to help us.
Oh.
It was totally amazing, the people that were for us, and they really risked their lives to help our family.
In Slovakia, was it as hard hit as the rest of Eastern Europe, or was there a lot of military activity going on during the war in Slovakia?
It was in Slovakia, just like in any or many other parts of Europe,
where the same kind of things was happening. Poland, Yugoslavia, other places went through the same kind of.
Hungary, everybody had those kind of issues happening. And the anti-Semitism existed then and still exists now. I am sad to say, but that's what it is.
And what would you classify as, well, let's make this happy. What would you classify as your most memorable moment while you were living under these conditions over here? Even though, yes, it was, times were scary, it was difficult. What moment do you cherish the most? Is it maybe some time that you spent with these beautiful people that were
You mean
housing you?
Do you mean over there in that village, or you mean when we came to Canada? What do you mean?
Okay, while you were there in the village, what would you classify as your most memorable moment? Even though, when you're going through that tough time, you must have had some kind of moment that you cherished to this day.
Yes, for sure. Memorable moments was we have some family had some other children close to our age that we came friendly with, we came games with. We pretended that we were not being hidden. We played games with them. We went, we did some songs, we sang. And, the memorable part was finding these children who lived in that house, and who became friends with.
And who we were very happy to be friendly with. So we had some very nice moments there as well.
So we can actually say that tonight on our show, we got double trouble, triple threats. Because
double trouble,
triple threats. Okay, all that meaning that is the, what do you call them? Triple threats is someone who acts, someone who sings, and someone who dances. And you girls do all of that. And I witnessed offhand seeing you two having an absolutely great time, because our producer Jenny DuHaime and my co-star, the co-host on Seriously Live, Esther Brzezinski, we were at an event that we were hosting, and I saw you two really shake it. I mean, you were having a great time. You were dancing away, and I was like watching that. I go, wow, look at these two.
Thank you.
You know how to party. Well, let's put it that way.
I know we went at a party recently, right? And we had a great time there. Actually, I went up to the guy who was singing Elvis, pretending to be Elvis.
Went
up to him and I was singing with him.
Well, you were singing with him. You actually went up stage. He took your hand and he spun you around.
That's right.
I believe Jenny prepared for us that evening. It's on video. Is it going to come out soon? Hopefully, it is going to come out soon. We're going to be able to see that evening. There was also a nice local performer. His name is David Sean. You want to check him out. Check out his YouTube channel. He performed a couple of songs there with big record star Rachel Dara was there as well performing. So we had a really, really good time that evening.
Yes, we really did. We really did. It was a lot of fun and we enjoyed being there with you.
So you know what? That wants me to have another of these events again, and I would love to have you there once again. And you two girls certainly know how to have a good time. So right now, as you're making those, please don't adjust your set. Yeah, as you're making these adjustments.
We're just plugging in because we're running out of battery here.
Okay, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to run out of battery. You're going to disappoint all of these.
No, we plugged it in, but you can't put it here. Just a moment.
Folks, we're broadcasting live. Our guests tonight, the twins, Vera Miller, Nadia Rona from Elite Casting. They share ownership of Elite Casting with the great Rosina Bucci, who was on our show as well. I saw Bruno Rosato, thank you so much, Bruno, for tuning in, and all of you are tuning in. You folks are a little quiet, you're a little shy tonight. Why is it? You're usually asking our guests some questions. So
nobody's asking us any questions.
Go ahead. Okay, what do we have here? Tell us about your parents and how they arranged for your safety. Okay, Emily Kinney Stevenson. I guess you covered that a little bit, but maybe Emily just got in here not long ago. So can you tell us a little bit to satisfy that request?
Well, like I think I mentioned before that our father was a very influential man who had a lot of good friends. And so he's the one who really arranged that we were able to get, the forced papers. And they drilled it into us. So it was a friend of my father who was so influential that made it possible for us to get the papers, to hide that we were Jewish, and to escape everything what was going on in Europe at that time, Holocaust and so on.
We got someone who's tuned in from Sweet Home, Alabama, Wayachaca, I believe, if I read right. The computer's that's it. Hey, hi y'all. It's from Alabama.
Alabama, oh my God.
Wayachaca, does that tell you anything?
I don't know anybody. We don't know anybody in Alabama.
Wayachaca, thank you so much for tuning in.
That's very nice.
That's it.
And I also saw my beautiful granddaughter, Stephanie. She's tuning in. I saw that. And I think my other granddaughter, Alyssa, also.
Okay, so we got to the moment right now. You told me there's a special way that an actor should prepare himself before he goes into an audition. And I know that there are a lot of people who are tuning in that are actors, aspiring actors. And this is a moment for you folks, for all of you who are actors, aspiring actors. Vera and Nadia are going to tell you what it is that you have to do to prepare for an audition. Girls, take it away. What do they have to do?
Okay, so there's a few very important things. First of all, every person, every woman or man who wants to be an actor or is training to be an actor, they have to have a professional photo and a resume. That is like your calling card. That's important.
Very, very important. And then when they are getting ready to do an audition, they have to get all the information, what it's all about, get the scene, have hopefully enough time to learn it very well, to practice it before they actually do it.
And all the actors, what we have to encourage them is to look at the description and the sides, including the cross out lines, which you see. Look at everything when you get your sides. That's important. Learn what is it? Is it a feature film? Is it a television film? Is it a series? Is it a documentary? It's important to find out as much as possible.
Everything possible. Also, we used to have people come to audition in an audition room, which we used to do. And then when you have an actual place to go to, please make sure to be on time. Do not chat. Come into the room. Do what we call a slate, your name, your agent, and
then you do your audition. When the director or the casting director tells you, you do your audition, you may be asked to do it again. And that doesn't mean that you didn't do well. It means that they will want to see if you can follow direction. Once your audition is done, you say thank you, and you leave the room, and you don't think about it. You don't call your agent. You don't ask how you did. You did the best as long as you know you did the best.
You have to also come in dressed naturally like yourself, have your own hair, have your own makeup, and just do the best you can without worrying.
But dress appropriately. Like if you're going for a maid, don't dress like you're a glamorous person. Dress appropriately, but don't come into costume. Another thing that I just want to say, training is the most important thing. To be an actor, you can't wing it. Nobody can wing it. You need to train, and you need to train
Take some acting courses wherever you can.
And you train every single day. Every day.
Okay, by the way, we have two questions here. We're going to go back to Bruno Rosato, who has his original question.
Sorry. Hi, Bruno.
So Bruno Rosato has the following question. We'll get to you, Esther, in a second. He says, "What does it take? Hang on. What does it
take to become a caster?"
Yeah, what does it become? What does it take?
You know, you cannot go to school to be a casting director. And to be a good casting director, the most important thing is that you have to have good instincts. You have to. I could always tell when an actor wants to just have an interview, came into in the room to be interviewed. The moment they come into the room, I could sense if they had something. Most of the time, or 99% of the time, I was right. You can tell. So the acting, to be a casting director, you can't go to school, like you said. You have to have the instincts to know who could be a good actor.
Okay. So we have a second question here from Esther. As casting agents, what was the most unusual audition you have ever encountered?
There were so many. It's very hard to pinpoint on one.
Well, one of them was, when I strictly remember, when somebody was coming in to be like a police sergeant that was on the hunt for a killer, and they came in actually totally dressed like a policeman, fake guns and everything. I mean, it was totally unbelievable how they prepared. But again, I must say, everything can be mimed, and we discourage people to come in with actual props. I mean, nobody's going to come in with a real gun, but you don't even need a fake gun. You don't, everything can be mimed, whether it's a pencil and paper.
Something or other. Don't come in with shorts and a t-shirt if you're coming in for a policeman. Get dressed a little bit better than that. Think about it in advance, how you're going to come in if you're portraying a maid, a soldier, a policeman. Get your mind to it that
a lawyer, everything has to be
that your inside feels the character.
But I must stress again, everybody who's an actor or an aspiring actor has to be training. You have to practice your grind every single day. And even if it's at home with a friend in front of a mirror, it's like what do professional athletes do to be professional? They train every day, right? You cannot leave a day without training.
If you're serious about it, do something in some way every day, as Nadia says. I'm telling you, that's what has to be. That's what actors or people who want to be actors, they have to really work at it every single day.
And one thing I do want to mention, the one thing I learned through you and all of the experiences I had in the auditions is that if you're called to appear at an audition, it's because you were good enough. And from the start, you were actually good enough to be there. So you have a reason to be there. So anyone who makes it to an audition, folks, take this from the best, and they're going to corroborate my saying here, is that if you make it to an audition, it's because you're actually good enough to be there. Girls, go ahead and elaborate on what I just said.
Well, it's so true what you just said. Every actor or every aspiring actor has to know, if we went through all the suggestions that were sent to us by agents or personally, if we chose you to come to the audition, we have to believe that you have some chance of getting the role that you're auditioning for. That is so important that everybody should know. And if they chose you to come to the audition, it's a privilege, and you got to take it seriously. As we said before, most important thing is you have to learn your lines. Everybody gets a little scene that they have to do in the audition. They've got to learn the lines that are so familiar in the brain that once they come into the audition, they can't think about it. They know it. And if they go in there, all they have to remember is look where the camera is, get on your spot, and do your audition. And once you did your audition, you leave and you forget about it.
You say goodbye and then forget about it until you get a call for maybe to come back again or whatever it is. Just don't dwell. Did I do this? Did I do that
I
wrong?
know people, somebody
Don't
said,
worry.
People say so many times, why did I do this? Why didn't I move to the right? Why should I move to the left? You can't do that. You go in there, you do the best that you can,
and then just leave and forget about it until something else happens, right?
I want to share something with the audience. For those of you who are regulars in Rob's Inner Circle, you've already heard this, but there's a lot of new people who've tuned in this evening. I want to share something with you.
Okay.
It's great to know your lines, of course. You have to be prepared and all that. But what happens when you go into the audition room and you're all prepared and you do exactly what I did? I froze and I forgot all my lines.
It can happen.
That happens all the time.
I walked in there and it was the worst audition of my life. I just made things up. I ad-libbed and they made me do it 2, 3, 4 times. It was actually Rosina Bucci from Maule, your partner, who's giving me the audition for Being Human. So it was the worst day of my life. I thought I was about to die, but I said, you know what? I came here, I must be okay, good enough to be here type of thing, right? So I said, I'm going to go through it all the way. and I'm just going to walk out of here with my head held up high, and I did it.
Right.
Worst
You were
audition,
totally right.
worst
The thing
audition
is,
of my life, thinking of quitting right there and then. Wouldn't you know it? That bad audition got me the role on Being Human as the
there you
plumber.
go. See, sometimes it happens that somebody comes in, does the audition, they leave, and they said, "Oh, I
Also,
did a terrible, terrible thing," and that particular. It happened a few times with us, and somebody came in and they thought they had the worst audition. Then they got a call back and they got the role. And you know what? What's the terrible part of auditions? Nerves. That it gets in the way, and you just have to forget. Once you get into the audition room, I know that the nerves are very difficult to overcome. Everybody's nervous. I'm telling you, we had an occasion to meet professional, well-known actors that we interviewed or talked with, and even Robert De Niro, let's say, anybody they have nerves when they have to audition.
the biggest actors can have nerves and do have nerves. It doesn't escape anybody. That's the way it is. Even Ryan Gosling, who was a 12-year-old who came auditioned for us. I remember so well when he came in with his mother and got so very nervous, but he did. He sang, "When a man loves a woman." And look at him now. Look where he is now.
Unbelievable, eh? It's
Yeah.
totally unbelievable. So, all that to say that maybe I am normal after all.
Of course.
Actually, yeah, every time, like I told you before we were coming on live tonight, and I'm going to be honest about it, I'm not going to hide it. I do get the jitters. You get a little bit uncomfortable, and you're anxious, and it's all because you want to do well. You don't want to mess up.
Exactly. Right.
And at the end of the day, you just got to be yourself, and you got to be confident. And again, if you're there, it's because you're good enough to be there.
That's right. You're exactly right.
So tell us. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying that somebody is saying that Vera and Nadia hope to write a memoir. Actually, we were asked several times to write a memoir, and we were asked several times if we would like to write and do a book, write a book about our story. I mean, these are all good thoughts that, but it all takes a long time. And I think it's something that we are contemplating. We have to move on. You can't stand still.
Well, that reminds me of the song of Elton John, "Can't Stand Still." Or is it "I'm Still Standing" or something like that? Anyways, I haven't heard the song in a long time, but now I'm going to have the song in my head for the rest of my life. So actually, you're talking about perhaps making a book, but rumor has it, and we're going to get this straight over here, that there's a playwright working on a play about your life.
Exactly.
So,
we were going to say that there's a play that's being written about our story. It's called The Hidden Twins, and we are hoping it's being developed, and it will come to theaters within we hope by next year.
And we have a wonderful playwright who is working on the drafts right now. Her name is Alice Abrazen, very talented playwright, and she already did one draft, and so it's really, really wonderful. We have another wonderful co-producer with us. Her name is Ellen David, who is going to direct it. So our dream is to have this play developed and shown in theater, starting in Montreal and who knows, many, many other places.
So it's in the works, and we are very excited about it.
On our show, a lot of people who are in the movie business tune in. You got producers, you got directors, you got writers, and they're among us this evening. So all that to say, if anyone out there is interested in making the movie of Nadia and Vera, you guys can start talking.
Okay, well, you know what? Movie is a difficult venture. So we are hoping to do the play. And when the play is successful and going to be showing in many places, then we can start developing a movie. But first, we are just very exciting about doing this theater production, and we can't wait for it to move on and to be shown hopefully within a year or so. And we are the kind of women who wants to do, when we think of something or when we have a passion, we're going to work at it until it becomes a reality.
Well, you know what? Thanks, Jen, because Jenny knows me inside out. She knows exactly the title that I would suggest for your movie, Double Trouble.
Good idea. What makes you think we're in such double trouble? What kind of trouble?
I'm telling you, you can get a lot of help from the people on our show this evening. Hey, folks, let's give some encouragement to the girls over here. Show them your love. Write your comments. We got about 10 minutes left here in our live broadcast. Again, thank you to all people tuning in from all over. This is amazing. You have set the record. You've broken the record here on Rob's Inner Circle for the most people.
Really?
And it is such an honor for myself and for the rest of the production. You got Jenny and Patty who are behind the scenes who are working so hard. I think you girls deserve a toast.
Okay, let's have a toast.
Okay, let's do it. We still
This
have
toast
time.
is to the Double Trouble, Double Vision, to the twins, to the best twins around, the elite casting group. Congratulations for being the official record breakers of the viewing audience on Rob's Inner Circle.
Oh my goodness, that's so
we
are so thrilled to hear that, and
Wow.
so happy to be here, and we enjoyed every moment, and look forward to all the people that are watching to get in contact with us, to ask questions or to do whatever they want. Just get in contact.
I just saw Lisa McCormack's name popping up on the screen. Lisa is a fellow actor, and I believe she's also part of ACTRA, and she's raising her glass to you as well. So,
Oh, nice.
Lisa, for tuning in. With the time we have left, tell us in the audition room, what is it that an actor or actress should not do?
One of the most important thing is what not to do is do not ask questions while you're in the audition. When you come in, you're going to be introduced. At that time, before your audition, if you have really important question to ask one or two questions, but don't start asking questions. What should I do? Where should I go? I'm sorry. Oh, never apologize. Some people say, oh, I'm sorry. I only got a script last night. I don't know it.
Don't
well
make
enough.
any excuses.
That is a big no-no.
Big no-no.
You don't ask, be prepared. Don't cancel your audition if you had something in the family, the child was sick or you couldn't sleep. Don't come into audition making excuses. Only go into audition if you're totally well prepared and ready to do the best that you can. No excuses.
I'm gonna share a story with you girls and the audience as well.
Okay.
And this happened to me once in my 20 some odd years of being in the acting business. I remember walking into the audition room and I came face to face. The producer and the director were there. And it was a short film. It was an independent film. And I saw the guy like all smiles. It's like this guy was like looking at me as if I was a god in front of him. And I found out later, the moment I walked in there, I could have walked out of that room, not do my audition. I still got the role. I walked in and the exact persona, the character, the look, the eyebrows, the hair, I happened to be, by some chance, the exact guy that they were looking for. Like I said, I could walk out of that room and I did an audition. I still would have gotten that role. Is this something that you go through a lot as casting directors? Have you actually seen an actor or an actress coming into the room and saying, oh my God, she's the one, I want her now? Did that happen to you?
very often, I would, both of us, we would see somebody come in that fit the role before they even started the audition. We knew that this is the right person for that particular role.
And then we were hoping that they were doing well. So many actors don't realize that if we choose them to come to audition, we want them to do well, because what do we have to do with the audition? We have to send it to the producer, to the director. So it's in our interest that the actor does well, and so we are very happy to pass it on. And sometimes if they don't get the role, even if they did wonderfully, it could be so many reasons, like they were just either too young or too old, or they didn't fit the description. And it's not because they didn't do a good audition, it just was not a role for them. So doesn't matter. Every audition is an experience. Once you do, the more auditions you do, the better it is for you. Doesn't matter if you got a role or not. You have an audition, it's an accomplishment.
And do it to the best of your ability. We found that works the best.
We got an audience member, Mark St. Marie, who makes the comment here. He says that Tom Todoroff, who happens to be his acting teacher. Are you familiar with Tom Todoroff?
Very
Yes.
much so. We worked with him. We know him very well.
Yes.
Yeah, so he says very often, don't be impressive, rather be expressive and create relationships. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? What's your take on that?
Don't be impressive, rather be expressive. Well, I don't totally agree with that. I think you have to be a bit impressive, but impressive you have to be a little bit, but be expressive and create a relationship. I think he means mostly that you have to know who you're auditioning, what you're auditioning for, and be so well prepared. Know the character and know the project. Know everything what you need to know to in order to do a good audition. There's so many things that you have to do before the audition. Like we said so many times, what it is it a series? Is it a television film? Who is a director? Who is a producer? All those things are so impressive.
Very.
To know.
And especially getting the knowing about what the script is all about, getting the material that you're going to audition with early enough so that you can learn everything to the best of your ability. That's very, very important.
We can't stress it enough.
And of course, having been on movie sets myself, I know what it's all about. This is all preparation. You also have to expect that scripts, even though you audition, you show up and you got the role and you know your lines and all that, on the day of the shooting, sometimes the scripts are due to change. They decide to change.
Oh my God, it's such a good point you brought up. You have to be prepared. And that's why sometimes when we do auditions or when we do a workshop with actors, we want to find out if something changes. They do their audition and we say, go out, take 10 minutes and do either another role or do it totally different. That is, and the actor has to be prepared when he goes on set that the director will give him direction that is totally not what he prepared for. So he has to be ready, or she has to be ready
To adapt.
And that is sometimes really difficult.
But that's something that everyone has to be prepared for, that if they have to change something, they should snap the finger and just go with the change the best way they can.
Okay, Jenny DuHaime has a very good point, saying it's so important to study the tone of the show. Example, Seinfeld vs. Kim's Convenience vs. Transplant, the tone of the show.
Yes, she's absolutely right. It's also,
Right.
you want to tune into the show, and the show has a certain theme to it. You know, the actors tend to be in a certain kind of a mood. I know what she's saying, but I'm not necessarily explaining it right. But I think the audience has caught on. And also, let us not forget, and of course, you're going to be corroborating on this, is that your impression that you make in the audition room is a lasting impression.
Exactly.
And if you come in as a professional and leave as a professional, you're always going to be regarded as a professional. And even though it's a big world out there, it's a very small world, because Andrea Kenyon knows Elite Casting, who know also Helen Russ's casting house. Everybody knows each other. So
Right.
you know,
And everybody should get along. We all have our jobs to do. It's different jobs, and we all have to do our job to the best of our ability. And it's not an easy thing. And I always say, I sometimes discourage people who want to be actors by saying it's not an easy profession. You have to be ready for things that a rejection. Rejection is a very difficult, and you get it all the time. You can go to 10 auditions and get rejections, but you keep going, and hopefully eventually if your talent is important, but talent needs to be explored. You have to have the basic talent, but without the training, the talent won't go very far.
And Esther says that she loves the humor, the comedy, the dry comedy of Ghosts. And Bruno Rosato, just before that, says he exists because of Elite. What kind of a relationship do you have with Bruno? Tell us a little bit about your story.
He says I exist because of Elite. Well, thank you very much, Bruno. We like you, and we're so happy that you feel like that.
Yes, that's very nice.
Rosina, first job, he says.
We've been friends with him for a long time, and we are friends with Andrea too. We're all in this business together, and we all do our best whichever way we can.
Well, Bruno, we are one, because it's also thanks to Rosina and Elite Casting that I got my first role, and I got that on Being Human as the plumber. So I thank you, ladies, as well, and thank you again, Rosina.
Okay.
We've come to a sad moment on our show, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
Of course.
I think it's time that we say goodbye. Okay, but one thing, and I know that this hour
so quickly,
but
this hour has flown by. This hour.
Thank you so much, Rob, for choosing us. We really enjoyed doing the show. It's
very much so. Very much so. Thank you.
We got to thank Jenny DuHaime, my amazing producer, who
thank you, Jenny,
and gets the talent. And I just come on the show. I entertain the guests, and I host the show. And thank you so much. I do want to mention one thing, though.
What? Oh, he had to leave, I guess. We need part 2. Great interview, Mom and Nadia, Debbie says. Oh, grateful and wishing.
Hello, are we still on?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, folks. Look, something unexpected happened. The internet here is not all that reliable. That's why I'm having eBox coming in as my new internet provider. I'm very dissatisfied with my present provider, but it's okay. I'm not here to badmouth anybody. So, girls, like I was saying, please stay where you are. Okay, I'm going to be signing off, closing the show. We're going to have our meet and greet with producer Jenny and our podcast technician Patty. Okay. So I'm going to let you girls have the closing comments. By the way, Richard Miller, that's a name.
That's my son.
That's your son. He thanks us as well for having you on our show, and he says you are.
That's so nice.
He's fantastic. My both kids, my Rick and my Debbie, they're wonderful, and Nadia's kids are wonderful too.
They were all participating and listening to us.
Oh, they're amazing. There's nothing like family and the support from the family, nothing equals that. And
Yeah. Okay. Family is so important. That is so. You said it. It's such a true statement.
And being a Jewish background and me being Italian, we are so similar in many respects. And I know
definitely.
Oh,
We
yeah.
always say that.
I know exactly what family means. So I'll let you each have your share at your closing comments. Let's say, Vera, what are your closing comments?
It's wonderful to be with you, and it's wonderful what we've accomplished in our life, and we are very happy with what we are still going to do. I love what we do. We're so dedicated, and we never want to retire. I feel always say when you retire, you get old. And that's why we're going to keep on going. We don't want to get old, and we won't.
1,000%. So, Nadia, I guess you reiterated a little bit and you actually added to something that Vera was saying. But if you could share your personal thoughts, what is it that you would have to say to the audience? Anything at all?
My personal thought is it's so important to have a positive attitude. Wake up every morning and be thankful you're alive. I wake up and I say that to myself before I get out of bed. It's another day. Let's make it a special day. That is my total thought and dream. Be yourself, wake up every morning, and look forward to any new adventure that every day brings.
Oh, thank you so much. That is so inspiring. I feel inspired all of a sudden.
Goody.
And I want
we want everybody to be inspired and everybody to have a positive attitude. There's so many negative things happening in the world. We know that lately, especially lately. And we cannot let that destroy our spirit, our thoughts, our ambitions. Never mind that. Never mind what's happening. You have to be aware what's happening in the world, but you have to keep going forward with a very positive attitude.
Just reminding you folks that you can watch this show all over again. It's going to be on Facebook. It's recorded. It's live now, but you can watch it again. It's also on the Bobby's Short Shorts YouTube channel. I do urge you to go on to the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel, Rob's Inner Circle playlist. Go back and watch the show. And if you come in late, it's okay. You can always watch it afterwards. All your comments can be added afterwards.
Oh my God, when we watch it afterwards, are we going to say, oh my God, why did I say that? Why did I do that?
I know exactly where you're going to look. Oh my God, how am I going to live with all this superstardom? All of it. I mean, you guys were stars.
Oh, was I really doing that? Why was I moving that way? Why was I saying that? Oh my God.
Girls,
that's the comments we are seeing here.
Thank you so much for being part of our show. And I would like to thank the audience as well. You, Vera, and Nadia, Jenny, Patty, myself, and all of the audience. You made history tonight in Rob's Inner Circle, and I am so proud it happened to you girls. Record-breaking audience this evening on Rob's Inner Circle.
That is amazing.
Congratulations. Hey, girls,
thank you so much.
You stay where you are. Don't go anywhere, please, okay?
Okay.
We're going to come and get you. We're going to sign off. Stand by. Well, folks, there you have it. These were our guests tonight. Double Trouble, Double Vision. The twins. It was Vera Miller and Nadia Rona from Elite Casting who are our guests tonight. Like I said, you can watch our show once again. It's live, but it's also recorded. And it's on YouTube and Facebook forever. So you can always go back, reference. You can always leave your comments afterwards as well. And signing off over here, I do want to tell you people some great news. Is that you can now tune into Rob's Inner Circle on Saturdays between noon and 3 p.m. on accessradio.ca. So our show is new. It's been picked up. It's on internet radio, and that's kind of exciting. And you folks, you know, you can go watch and participate and give us all your comments and what have you. As well, be sure to join us next week. Oh my goodness, this is going to be really, really cool. Next week we have Kenny Wong. He's an actor and musician, and he's also Dr. Arnold DeLuca from the amazing TV drama Transplant. So folks are going to be seeing you next week. Thank you once again for tuning in. All my love to you. Have an amazing week. God bless. Stay safe. And ciao.